Good morning, everybody. This is Chaya Garcia with the podcast Love and Cup. Grab your cup of your favorite drink and let's get started so that we never sink. In this thing called life, let's go. No strife, just me and you and our cup of tea. Let's go so we can learn to live in peace. All right, guys, let's get rolling. Today is going to be a really cool episode about how we discover ourselves, how we learn how to decipher and distinguish and kind of swim in the sea of the world, okay? Let's say 70% of the world is ocean. And let's say our bodies parallel the ocean, that we're like 70% water. And let's say water resembles spirituality, infinity. You ever look at the sea? Hold on, I'm drinking. Take a drink, guys. As a spiritual person who's committed to my faith, we thank God for what we drink before we drink it. So that was that. So basically, what you want to think about is this world, right? So we're a world, we're in a world, and then there's a spiritual world. So you kind of constantly want to zoom out and then back in, right? So there's a whole big universe, then there's the actual earth that we live on, and then there's ourselves. So we're 70% water, and the earth is 70% water, and then the universe is like this cosmo, right? And there's this fluidity, there's this flow, there's this infinity. Like when you look out into space, it's like infinite. When you look out into the ocean, even though technically there's a boundary at some point, it feels infinite, it seems infinite. One of the most calming things for people to find their spirituality is actually to go to the ocean, to the waves, to look out, because your body and your brain and your internal stream of consciousness feels and sees that infinity. And it brings us back to spirituality, and it's so calming. So let's look at that as how we are swimming through life as we're alive and actually struggling sometimes, right? You want to just be able to always know where the shore is and where that other edge is. Because if you don't know where the shore is, then it's really, really, really hard to know if you're going in the wrong direction or if you're going to get stuck out in sea and, God forbid, not make it, right? So we always want to be conscious of the boundaries of the direction of where we're going. So if we're going towards we're like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, and I just want to be done with this struggle of the waves and the ocean. I just want to get back to shore. If you can't see the direction of where you're at, it's going to be so hard to know if you're going towards shore to give yourself a break and a rest, or if you're going to be swimming towards the opposite end and getting more pain and more struggle. And so that's what I'm designing for you guys. I have a dating training program. I have a mastermind and a blueprint, depending if you want group coaching or more personal one-on-ones as well, that gives you these guides of how to understand yourself in relation to the world, how to know which direction you're swimming, and how to understand when to turn around. Because we really do need guides. I know for me, I really needed a guide. I was struggling so much. I was 26 years old and I woke up one day thinking, holy shinoli, shiitake, schnitzels, whatever. How did I get here? How did I get here? The guy that I was in love with at the time left me to do drugs. But, who cares the reason why, right? He left me. He didn't choose me. He wasn't committed to me. Love was powerful and there, but irrelevant. And so I needed to learn, how do I manifest, create, accept, and attract people who are going to not commit to me and essentially abandon me? Because again, if you're going to be broken up with, you're going to be abandoned, right? If you're going to be broken up with, meaning your relationship doesn't work out, hold on. I always talk into my water or my drinks because your words actually create molecular changes in your food and your water and your drinks. And Dave Melter and I like bonded when we first met because we both talk into our drinks. So I'm like, stay healthy, love. So as we were saying, I needed to understand not to attract someone who is going to abandon me. And if you break up in any relationship, that is a form of loss, of death, and abandonment, because the person that you loved left you, right? Even if you wanted it, even if it was your idea, even if you're okay with it, the person that you loved and you thought you were going to be with forever, no one goes into something thinking they're going to create a loss, left you, okay? It hurts a lot. It's like fucking going in the wrong direction. It's like being inshore and just not knowing like where to go and swimming in the opposite direction of the store and then being like, I'm so tired. This is so scary. I'm so tired. I'm so scary. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm in the ocean and swimming, but oh my God, like this is really stressful. And so you want to have that anchor, that direction, that power of how to get the life that you want. And a big part of how to get the life that you want is getting to know yourself. It's getting to know yourself. So I want to ask you a question before I take a moment and drink, which I encourage y'all to do too. What do you really want? Okay, I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds. What do you really want? What do you want in your life? What are your visions? What are your goals? What's your shore? If you don't know where your shore's at, what it looks like, it's really freaking hard to swim there. Like, imagine if you couldn't see, God forbid, okay? Imagine if you didn't have vision, God forbid, and you went into the ocean, you're like, this looks effing fun. Like, I'm gonna put on my swimsuits, I'm gonna get into that ocean, and you are fucking swimming, and it is so great. But then you get tired, and you don't have the vision. Like, you literally can't see, like, what's the shore and what's the end that goes back into the ocean. And no one told you that the shore is the blue line with the sand line, and that's the shore, and the blue line with the skyline, that's when you're not going to make it, dude. That's when you're going to drown. Love without boundaries in the Jewish tradition, in Hebrew text, in the Old Testament, is called, it's considered drowning. When you love someone without boundaries, it's the analogy is like it's like drowning them. Because it seems good, it feels good, but it actually is a massive disservice. So if no one told you that the sand line, that offshore color, whatever color sand is, that line with the blue, that's the shore, and the skyline with the ocean line is the part where you're going to drown, you won't know even which to swim. Like, let's say I tell you, okay, when you're really tired and you're done, you need to go swim towards the shore, not towards the skyline with the ocean. And you're like, okay, Chaya, got it. And then you fucking go into the middle of the ocean. And you're like, holy shit, I'm really fucking tired. I want to take a break. Life is really, really hard. And she's like, okay, Chaya told me the shoreline versus the skyline. But what the fuck does the shore look like? Okay, this is for people who don't obviously know we're giving analogies here. And again, if you don't know which one is which, it's really hard to get there. So you have to have your vision of your goals. You have to understand what you're looking for. You have to understand that there's different directions in life. You have to understand what those directions look like. What is a shore? What does safety look like? What does a break look like? What does a healthy, sustainable, calm relationship look like? And what does drowning look like? What does energy draining life look like? What does not having serenity and just constant exhaustion look like? And I help you get there because we are not taught this in school. I was not fucking taught this in school. I don't know what school you went to, but they don't fucking teach it. When you come to my school, when your kids go to my school, they'll teach you this. But in my schools, they didn't teach me this. And I went went to school for a long time. We're talking bachelor, we're talking, high school where they teach you how to get into a great college. And then I took a gap year and traveled Europe. And then I went to a great college and I got straight A's. And then I did 2 years, studying to get into a PhD program with laboratories and the highest professors. And then I went 2 years more to finish my master's because I was like, screw a PhD. I'm not, wasting 7 years more after my 4 years, after my 6 years really, doing that. So then I finished my master's, guys, and I went to a lot of fucking school and I spent a lot of money and I spoke to a lot of people. And you know what these people are, first of all? Poor. There's no multimillionaire, all right, in general. There's no multimillionaire professors, okay? They are fucking poor in money, in wealth, and in wealth of information. They might know their niche and teach it profoundly, but if they don't know how to successfully integrate that into the rest of the world, it's not very helpful. So if you don't know how to have healthy relationships, if you don't know how to communicate effectively, if you don't know how to walk away, if you don't know how to identify and communicate and define what is a shore versus what is the skyline with the ocean. See, I don't even know what the fuck that's called. What's that called, guys? The horizon? If you don't even know what the name is of a healthy relationship, how to define it, how to explain it, how to say what you're looking for, how to explain who you are, what your identity is, how to break limiting beliefs. What is a limiting belief? What's codependency? How does that look in my life? What's addiction? How does that look in my life? How does my brain work when it gets addicted? What does the devil say when it wants me to stay stagnant? What does God say when it wants me to go and create? What are the voices and how do I distinguish them so I know when I'm procrastinating and like fucking life up and when I'm taking a break and nurturing myself, right? Because both of those are pauses. One is like phenomenally helpful for you and one of them is destroying your life and essentially not having you create the dreams. Like, how do you decipher that? So I want to leave off on this. Your life is in your hands. It's your responsibility. No one, not your mama, not your daddy, not your grandma, not your faith, not your background, not your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend or exes. No one is the cause of your pain but you, because as Gary Vee so beautifully said 2 days ago when I spoke with him, or he spoke with us, I don't care how fucked up you are, it was yesterday. And end quote from Gary Vee. Meaning, like, I don't care how screwed up you are, it was yesterday. Your life is in progress right now. You are in control of your thoughts right now. Your thoughts and belief systems are the defining factors of how successful you'll be. Everyone and their mom tells you that, who's in this field. Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Jay Shetty. I mean, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Baal Shem Tov, you name the biggest greats in the world, and they will tell you it starts in your head. So who's in control of your thoughts? You. Who's in control of what comes out of your mouth? You. Who controls your actions and reactions? You. Viktor Frankl went through the Holocaust and crazy shit, right? And he says, like, it's not about the traumas, it's about the reaction to the traumas. It's the story you tell yourself after the trauma. It's, are you fucked up and weak and deserving of like a mediocre relationship because you're kind of damaged? Or are you a fucking badass and a victor because you survived your trauma? Now you know how to love yourself and heal, and you want and deserve only someone who's going to match your awesomeness because you're still alive even going through that stuff, right? So when you're like a victim and a little damaged and you think you're a little fucked up and you need someone who's a little fucked up so that y'all can understand each other, or like you're fucking amazing no matter what you've went through because you're still alive and working and growing. And therefore, you need someone who's also amazing. So our reactions, our perceptions, our identity is the key to having ultimate success. I love you guys so much. I might curse, say crazy stuff, but at the heart of my heart, I know what true love is, and I'm very blessed to have broken my patterns to receive it. And I want that for all of you. So if you have any questions, I love engaging with y'all for real. Please send me any questions or DMs or comments. Like, please comment on this, subscribe to the video. love yourself and commit. You really deserve an amazing life. So this is Chaya, Epic Love Expert for Love in a Cup, and I hope you have a great day.